You know, we can put a little the freedom of association in here. You can decide, I don't want anything to do with you. And that's just as valid as the freedom to associate, because you guys brought me here. You brought me upon yourselves. But the school board says a student has the right. I'm sorry. I've never heard of a right that also comes with an obligation with a capital O. Capital R, capital O. I've never heard of an instance where a right places an obligation on others.
It's compelled speech.
You're stealing my thunder. And that's what the school board is doing. So my right to know is simply this. Where does the school board, where's the authorizing, excuse me, where is the authorizing legislation from which you can grant a new right to a student or a staff member? And where is the authorizing legislation that not only grants that right, but the obligation that I have to say these, this, theirs, you know, the gazillion new pronouns that they've been coming up with.
That's right.
You know, I can't even get LGBTQRSTUV ready because I don't know what all the acronyms are, and I don't care what they are. Just leave me alone, okay? And when I brought this up now in 2 school board meetings, and I keep getting this look of horror on their faces. Because if they can't show it, they can't do it. If they do it, I will haul them into court. And among all of the things, including an RSA requests if I have to go to Superior Court, it goes right to the head of the list. Strict scrutiny is the phrase used in the court system for abusing the right to free speech. I will do that as well. Because what they have said, any person of the public who comes onto school grounds is now obligated to call somebody by their preferred name and pronouns. I'll tell you, I cannot wait if they don't pull this out of the policy, and the chair said, yeah, I'm not in favor of this at all. I can't wait to call little Frida Felix, his real name, and then go ahead, what are you going to do to me?
No, that's right.
And I bet you I will get a number of lawyers who will take to court for free. Because once you pull that out, just based on, again, constitutional values, once you pull that out, a lot of the other parts of that whole policy go away. And the other one is, you know, girls going to the bathrooms, boys going to the girls' rooms, and you're hearing about the privacy. Well, the other one on that is, well, gee, if the Supreme Court found the right to privacy to be able to have an abortion, certainly body autonomy, a phrase I hate, should apply also to middle and high school girls as well. And that's another thing. Again, you go back to the constitutional values and you say, all right, I'm going to think rationally. I'm not going to listen to what they're saying. I've already been called uneducated, ignorant, a hate blogger. I mean, I've got like 8 things that people standing up during their testimony time by basically saying, well, if you only understood, if you only educated yourself, if you only stopped being ignorant or fearful. It's like, really, this is what you think of us? Of course, so I stood up at the second public session and said, okay, during the first public session earlier this evening, this is what I was called. And oh, that guy in the brown sweater and the brown hat came up to me smiling. Yeah, you know what he said to me? He said, I just wanted to make sure that you knew I think you're garbage. And when I said that, the ACLU Trans Project folks with all the shiny little buttons kind of went, boo, hiss. And I went, yes! You think I'm kidding? This is ridiculing now.
Yeah.
Saul Alinsky's rule, go on Greenwich Rock, look for the word, do a search on a bridge. It will bring you to the page, Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. I got news for you. Saul Alinsky was a confirmed communist. He came up with these things to get for the have-nots what the haves didn't want to give them. I mean, his most famous experiment was he was having an argument with Mayor Daley. He wanted something done for his people. So his political stunt was, all right, you're not going to give it to us? Guess what I'm going to do? Marched them all over to O'Hare Airport. And when the big planes came off the airport, and I've done 500,000 miles in the air for business, you run to the bathroom. Well, he had all of his people run to the bathrooms once those planes landed. And the guys that just stood there, the gals went into the stalls. Meanwhile, the flyers are trying to get off the plane. Now where do I go? Daley caved. So we do the same thing. It works far better for us because the left knows what we're doing and there's not a thing that they can do to stop us. Do you think rabble-rouser should be a title I should wear with pride? So, anyways, one last question.
You familiar with the Epoch Times?
Yes.
Yeah, what do you think of that paper?
I think it does some good work.
I think it's great. It's one of the fastest growing papers in the country.
It is.
There's some good articles, good writers.
Yeah, very similar to Washington Times and the Washington Free Beacon.
Yeah.
I just, with the Epoch Times, I did it, and our budget wasn't allowing me to continue it at $50 every 3 months. And so I contacted them and said and told them I hated to let go of this because I do like it a lot. And they said, well, we can't be losing people, so can you pay half of that? So I just want you to know if you do read it and you're finding it's cutting your budget too much, that you can, talk to them about it and they'll reduce it.
We don't have a paywall. I'm hoping never to do it. I would say with the growth of Granite Rock, we are getting sponsored ads that you'll see on site there. Finally, it's paying for itself.
That's
and as
great.
long as it pays the server cost, I'm not going to put up a paywall.
Yeah.
See, the good thing about the Epoch Times is it gives you an idea of what you're up against, because you can take a young kid and they can study American history, the English history, parliamentary history, English Civil Wars, American Revolution, and you can look at everything in American history. If you don't know what you're truly up against, which is a watershed change in 1917, you're not going to get the full picture. And paper provides that, I think.
Yeah.
It really does.
If you don't want to write for Granite Rock or write for other places, one thing that we have to take back as quickly as possible is the education industry.
Number one.
I became an adjunct professor just because of that. Of course, I had my son in my class too, and it was you got to take this before you get your degree, so I had fun. But go into your grade schools, go into your middle schools, go into your high schools, and say, I have the right to start looking at some of this curriculum. That's where you start to fight.
Absolutely.
And with that, I want to say thank you very much for having me.
That was awesome.
Thank you very much. Okay, the last item for tonight is the 50/50 borrowing. Yancy?
All right. The last floor is 9129.
Oh, it's $12 for the winner.
Me. Yeah.
You win a lot.
I'm not giving that back. I'll buy the martini today. Thank you, everyone. No, really, 9130.
Just a reminder that our next meeting is going to be our Christmas party on the 10th of December. Tony has a sign-up sheet. It's a potluck, dessert, hot entrees, and we have a very good time. So the only political thing is the election of officers, which we will do at the beginning of the meeting. I need a motion to adjourn.
Keith had a question. I just had a quick question. Isn't there some big exclusive GOP events tomorrow night? Maybe Chris, you know?
Yes, there's a reception at the Concord Hotel. Jason Chaffetz, the former congressman, Fox contributor, is the guest speaker, and that's It's at NHGOP. They have sign-ups if they have space left, and they can always squeeze in a few more. It's $60 a person, and it's more like a reception. It's not a sit-down dinner. They have some hors d'oeuvres out in the cash bar. But Concord Hotel, NHGOP, also on Hillsborough GOP website, we have the link as well. And you can pay, I think it's Anadot, $60 a person.
6 o'clock, is it?
I think it's 6 or 6:30.
Yeah, I can look it up real quick, but.
Okay. Anything else?
There's literature back here. Please take some, read it.
Don't forget our website. It's going to be your best friend. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
April? Second. Keith? All those in favor?
Aye.
Coffee? Refreshments?
All right.
It's time to go in and have us. Thank you.
Really? Should go to the casino.
Croc TV.